AEW's in Scotland. We're going to talk about a huge return. Also, in addition to that, a former WWE superstar is talking about whether or not he'll sign with AEW. Also, WWE officials are reportedly frustrated with something. We're going to talk about that. And yes, we are going to talk about that one guy in WWE who just simply didn't work out, who is just about trying absolutely everything, and it's still not working out. Well, now he's got something else going on. I'm not trying to sound like a hater or anything, but Gable Stevenson. Hey man, what are you doing? What's going on here, man? What's the situation? I don't know. You tried the NFL, that's not working out. You tried WWE, that's not working out. You went back to collegiate wrestling. It's like, what the hell are you actually doing, my brother? You are somebody who I think a lot of people at this point don't even know what to make of your skill set, because there was a lot of hype and now there's no more hype. But what's happening with Gable Stevenson, guys? Well, everybody thought he would be jumping right into the UFC. In fact, months ago, we talked about him training with John Jones, but that's actually not the case. He's not going to the UFC. Instead, he's going to a smaller company called LFA. And on September 12th at the Mystic Lake Casino Hotel, he will be appearing and competing at the LFA MMA event. Now, LFA is a relatively smaller company. I don't know, in like the MMA world, would they consider this like the indies or whatever? But it does have distribution on UFC Fight Pass, so you are able to watch it if you have a Fight Pass subscription. But LFA they just announced, Gable Stevenson just announced that he'll be making his MMA debut. And I don't know, man. This was a guy that at one point WWE was trying to prop him up, make him feel like a big deal. Goes to WWE, doesn't necessarily catch on. Then he goes back to collegiate wrestling, and then he ends up losing in the championship. There's just a lot of things here. I don't know what to really make of it. I don't know. I just feel like this guy can't really stay put in one spot. I'm always gonna be like supportive of the idea of people chasing their dreams, but at this point it just seems like Gable Stevenson had so much hype, and then like at this point, okay, NFL didn't work out, this didn't work out, now we're gonna try something else. All right, that's gonna take us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. WWE, according to WrestleVotes, they come out and said that the new pay-per-view that WWE is expected to do, right? We haven't got the official announcement as of this time. WWE is reportedly going to be announcing it. I believe ESPN will be making the announcement themselves. But WrestleVotes came out and said, hearing that the 9/20, September 20th, PLE announcement in Indianapolis is expected at some point today. WrestlePalooza remains the front runner, despite some negative pushback from higher-ups at WWE on Raw this past Monday. So a lot of people are actually arguing about this in the comments of my videos, and I just kind of want to provide an update. I don't mind WWE leeching off ECW. I don't mind AEW leeching off ECW. I don't mind any of these companies leeching off of old wrestling stuff, but I just think you got to tiptoe around it. You got to be careful with how you do it. Also, I don't know if WrestlePalooza is the most serious name, but of course it's got that nostalgia. And I'm very weird with nostalgia. Sometimes I like nostalgia. Sometimes I don't like nostalgia. I can understand why some WWE people would not be happy about this. I can understand why there would be a little bit of pushback. I can see why there would be a little bit of a negative reaction. But at the same time, too, WWE has to be in the situation where they are putting on the best possible product. To be honest, this is the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand. It doesn't matter the wrestling company. You could have the coolest pay-per-view name and have literally the worst pay-per-view of all time. The name is just a name. WWE seems to really understand how to do graphics and branding and marketing. I mean, they're a marketing machine. So I'm not too concerned for that reason. But at the same time, too, I am a little hesitant to kind of join in on the BS that everybody talks about regarding this, because WrestlePalooza is an ECW name. WWE owns the ECW stuff. They own the IPs. It is a little bit more different than another wrestling company buying it and or not buying it, but like leeching off of it. WWE can leech off of anything ECW, WCW related. It's not a big deal. They have that right. So to me, it just kind of makes a lot of sense. But that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. It is what it is. We'll keep it moving. So yeah. All right, that brings us to our next topic. Jinder Mahal, Raj Desi. Guys, he is somebody who I have a lot of respect for. You know this. If you follow my channel, if you're one of the 900,000 people that have watched my channel in the last 28 days, then you know this because I'm a huge fan of Jinder Mahal. I don't think he gets a lot of the credit that he deserves. I don't think he gets a lot of the respect he deserves. But he was talking about this recently with TMZ's Inside the Ring, and he was asked about potentially joining AEW, which, by the way, just as a simple reminder, maybe you remember, guys, maybe you remember the send hook tweet. Maybe you guys remember Tony Khan and everything with WWE and Seth Rollins and Jinder, and very interesting times. But one thing that Jinder Mahal said is something that I've often criticized AEW for. And reading this and hearing this and seeing this with my own eyes, it's like I'm not the only one who feels this way. He says, he said that he was asking about if there was any bad blood from Tony Khan's tweets. He says, no, not on that end, but I would have to see if it made business sense. What's the storyline? Is there a plan for me, or am I just coming in to do nothing? It's not a good feeling when you get paid every week and you're not earning it. I'm past that point in my life and career. Whatever I do, I want to do something next level, whether it's in wrestling, business, or something else. I just don't want to coast anymore. Of course, I'd be open to it, but it would have to make a lot of sense on a financial level, a storyline level, a creative level. All things have to make sense. Same rules actually apply to WWE. He says it would have to make sense. Now, we've seen him in Maple Leaf Pro. We've seen him in MLW. We've seen him in AAA since he's left WWE. But now the real question is, what is he actually going to do next? I don't know, but I love the fact that wrestlers actually think this way. Hey, I'm not coming in just to get a paycheck. I don't want to just come every week and get a paycheck. I want to actually work. I actually want to do things. I love that hustler mentality. Jinder Mahal's the man. Enough said. Let's keep it moving. And that brings us to our final topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Grado is expected back in AEW. Maybe I'm going to get in trouble for this one, but Grado confirms that he's going to be at tonight's AEW Dynamite. He was speaking to the Scottish Sun in a new interview. He says it's going to be bouncing. He says it's going to be great. They're making history. They're at the Hydro. I get it. Obviously, just a couple days away. AEW's at Forbidden Door. Grado was like, look, man, I'm gonna just say it, right? Like, Joe Hendry right now is viral and he's cool and stuff. Well, a long time ago in TNA, Grado was that guy, right? Grado was that guy. Grado got the reactions. He went viral. Everybody liked Grado. Since then, what has he really done? What provided value does he bring to AEW? I don't know. I think it's cool. You get the hometown pop and it makes every fan go crazy in the arena. And, but if you are inserting him on television and you are taking away TV time from somebody else that you actually have signed to your company, I'm sorry, man. I just do not rock with it. But I'm not going to give you guys the outrage just yet. I'll give you guys the outrage tomorrow when I'm live at 12 p.m. We'll see what Grado does on AEW Dynamite tonight. And if it warrants a complaint, I will complain. If not, I won't. But my point that I'm making is I really hate the idea of people being utilized on TV when they're not signed to the company and when there's people in the company not being utilized. I hate it. I've been saying it for 6 years with AEW. I'm probably going to say it until I'm 70 years old still making YouTube videos. And that's a freaking sad reality. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show. Peace.